Hi, my name is Adrienne Oliver and I'm with Remax Universal. I wanted to give you some tips about creating friendships with people next door. So one of the things that I love about community is the fact how, especially in Houston in times of like hurricanes and those type of things, we always create friendships with each other because we are next door to each other, right? We need each other as resources. So one of the things that I would love to see happen is more people creating friendships, getting along, getting together. I feel like at this point, the world could definitely use a little bit more of that. So here's some just tips, creative ideas, kind of on how to start in case you don't know. So whether you live in a high-rise condo building or a suburban subdivision or a rural community, you're surrounded by neighbors. Yet according to a statistic that was published in 2018, only 57% of Americans claim they know some of their neighbors, right? Just some. And even fewer, 26% said that they know most of their neighbors. And additionally, 23% of adults under the age of 30 say they know none of their neighbors. So the millennials don't know their neighbors. So how do we get people to know their neighbors, right? That's part of building a community. It's part of what makes homes valuable and enrich our lives, right? So getting to know people in your closest community is worthwhile for many different reasons. So one of them, you're familiar. Fellow homeowners are more likely to feel comfortable in your own neighborhood, have a greater sense of security if they know that you're keeping an eye on their property. Neighbors can lend a helping hand by offering to share tools, offering insights about local schools, picking up packages or mail when you're out of town, lending you a cup of sugar. I know that's kind of old-fashioned, but it happens. And knowing your neighbors can also help you expand your network, providing you business connections, potential babysitters, valuable friendships for yourself and your family. So building a strong and trusting friendship with your neighbors is possible with some time and some initiative. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, great, Adrienne, that's fine. Where do I start? So here's just a couple tips. So there's 4 tips that I have for you. Number 1, strike up a casual conversation. If you feel uncertain about where to start, try to make a comment about the weather. I know that's super cliche, but it works. Ask a simple question about your neighbor's family or their work, or compliment an aspect of their yard or their home. So that's the first thing you can do. You can ask for help. That's the second thing. People love being helpful. You can ask them for a recommendation on a service provider. Who mows your yard? What plumber do you use? You know, the Nextdoor app is all about that, but the Nextdoor app has some snarky stuff on it. So try to stay away from the snarky. You can do, home ownership tips, or, what's the best Mexican restaurant in the area or something like that. So that's another thing that you could do. Number 3, the more time you spend outside, this is why I feel like a lot of people don't know their neighbors, is because they don't spend as much time outside, especially in Houston in the summer. We do that a lot more during hurricanes because a lot of times our power is out and it's hot in the house, right? So if you spend more time outside, you can be more visible out in your front yard or in the community areas, the more likely you are to meet people, right? Simple. And then connect virtually. So is number 4. Technology allows you to stay in touch with your neighbors even if not physically. With your neighbor's permission, create and distribute phone directory, that kind of thing. That's very Nextdoor, right? So join Nextdoor is what they're basically telling you. You could also start a Facebook group. I know the old neighborhood that I used to live in, they have Facebook groups that they share information. My kid babysits, my kid dog sits, does anybody know where to get this service? Those type of things. And communicate about neighborhood related topics. You could also offer and request assistance. So those are some ways to start meeting your neighbors, be a good neighbor, enjoy your home more. If you have any questions about neighborhoods, I'd love to help you as your neighborhood expert. My name is Adrienne Oliver and I'm with Remax Universal. Thank you and make it a great day.